Good morning, guys. What's good? Happy Wednesday. Come on in. Let me know how your week is going, how your day's going. We are streaming, as always, on my favorite place to connect with folks, LinkedIn and on Facebook. So come on in. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, maybe you're just following me on these platforms and just getting to know a little bit about who I am. But I am here every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern to give you all of the tips and strategies for personal branding, online and offline positioning in the marketplace, and a little bit or a lot of bit of mindset and confidence tips. Okay, so come on in. Welcome to Thoughts of a Maven. If you're catching this on the replay, use hashtag replay with your question or your comment. Listen, I hear this all the time like, Dion, I am an introvert. Listen, to my fellow introverts, I know some of you might not believe it, but there is a way that you can boldly build your personal brand and not necessarily be the loudest one in the room. Hello, somebody, right? Building a brand is about being authentic to you. And I know a lot of times if you are an introvert, it can feel like you're a fish out of water, whether you are having to, speak in front of people, network, talk about yourself. It can feel really weird. Personal branding can feel tricky when you're an introvert, when you're used to being the one quietly making power moves behind the scenes. But if you're tired of being the best kept secret, in your industry, it's time to change that. And again, there's a way to do that while being true to who you are. So come on in. And as always, if you have questions, I want to know what those questions are. Feel free to ask me down below in the chat. And maybe you've done the work, you've earned the title, the income, right? But now it's about building a brand that matches the brilliance that you bring to the table, right? Without having to shout or perform to get noticed. So today, we're going to talk about 5 ways to elevate your brand in your introverted way. Okay. So, again, you are not alone if you are someone who's a little bit more modest, a little more, you know, behind the scenes, right? There's a way to still build a brand that is authentic to you. And before I get started, I want to remind you guys that my free personal branding workshop is coming up. And this is my Invisible to Invaluable workshop. This is for the brilliant Black woman, CEO, entrepreneur, corporate professional who feels unseen or even underrecognized in your field, right? If this is you, I want you to join me for this free personal branding workshop. You can head on over to Work with Dion to get all the details. But this workshop is for you if you are struggling, maybe to earn the income and the respect that you deserve, right? You feel like you need to sacrifice, your mental, emotional health, sometimes your physical health for an income. Right? That is so false. And that's one of the myths that we cover in the workshop. If you're feeling unseen, if you're ready to step out of the shadows and take your rightful place, maybe you're passionate about using your gifts and your talents to make a difference. If you want to become a thought leader, if you want to attract the right employers, the right clients who are a perfect fit for your brand, you do not want to miss this session. This is real time um, gems, I'll say, that I'll be dropping on Zoom. And you're going to understand the basics of personal branding, why a strong brand is vital for your career or business success, how to connect with your audience in a way that feels genuine, right? And begin to align your brand with your purpose. Okay. So there are limited spots for this workshop. You definitely want to get in the room. So make sure you head on over to workwithdion.com. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. If you're just joining us, we are talking about being an introvert and how you can begin to curate, to build a personal brand that feels true to you. Because a lot of people that I talk to who are introverts feel like when it's time to, talk about themselves or put themselves out there, they're pretending to be something that they're not. That is not true. Okay. There's a way to curate a personal brand that is genuine to you. So here are 5 ways that you can begin to do that. The first is, you guys know my favorite platform is LinkedIn, is to let LinkedIn work for you. Okay. Social media, Yes, it is social media. That's the social aspect, but it doesn't have to drain you. And specifically on LinkedIn, that's the place where smart, intentional content can do the talking for you. Okay. LinkedIn is not the place where you have to show up and be on 10 all the time. You can share your story, you can share your wins, and you can do it on your own terms. I always tell my clients, you get to decide how you want to do this thing, right? If you want to be on 10, if you want to scale back a little bit, that is fine. But you don't have to post daily or even go viral on LinkedIn to be seen, right? You just have to be real, relevant, and consistent. Okay. The great thing about social media is that it gives you an opportunity to showcase your strengths and share your thoughts and your ideas in a comfortable and controlled environment. So for me, this is my happy place. I like to come on and just talk, right? You have to find what works for you, right? But more than anything, on social media, whether it's LinkedIn or any other platform, it is so crucial to be authentic, consistent, and engaging, right? Make sure that you're using your platform to just really showcase who you are, as well as your accomplishments and your personality, your passions, and your values. Okay. Listen, guys, personal branding doesn't have to be a daunting task. A lot of these things we tend to overthink and overcomplicate, and it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. Guys, thanks for joining the live stream. We are talking about 5 ways that introverts specifically can really begin to build a personal brand without feeling like, you're pretending to be something that you're not. Okay, so let me know as always down in the chat if you have questions or comments. And if you're catching this on the replay, use hashtag replay with your question. Okay. Number two, you want to brand or write rather with intention. Okay. If you are a thinker, and a lot of introverts, a lot of us are thinkers, right? And there's another reason why many people don't know this, why I'm such a good writer. It's because I'm a thinker and I'm a people watcher, right? That is something I've learned to lean into as an introvert. So if you're a thinker, a writer, or someone who expresses themselves better through words than small talk, I want you to lean into that. Okay. Whether it's writing a thoughtful LinkedIn post, an article, or even emails, right? Those things can position you as the trusted voice in your space. So for me, what I found is that writing is a powerful way to connect with people who respect your depth and not just your volume, right? Again, it's not about being the loudest one in the room, okay? So if you're ready to really establish yourself as a thought leader, you need to lean into blogging and writing. And writing is also a great way that introverts can build a community around their personal brand and connect with other like-minded individuals, okay? So do not skip over this opportunity to showcase who you are in writing. Okay. Guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about personal branding for introverts and how you can begin to cultivate a brand without feeling like a fraud. I hear this all the time from introverts, right? The third thing is that you have to speak from the heart, right? Even if it's just to a Zoom room, right? Speaking opportunities, when I mention speaking opportunities to introverts, they're like, Dion, that sounds crazy. I'm an introvert, right? The two don't go together. But listen, many introverts shy away from public speaking, but it really can be an excellent way to promote your brand. Speaking engagements provide an opportunity to showcase your knowledge while connecting with peers, potential clients, if you're an entrepreneur. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can start small. I really, during COVID, tapped into the beauty of virtual stages, right? There's webinars, local events, right? Start small, start with what feels aligned for you, and then move on to larger conferences and events, right? You have virtual workshops, panels. I've been invited many, many times to speak at intimate masterminds, right? And there are great ways to share your message in safe, intentional spaces. Okay. Your voice matters. Okay. So Don't think just because you're an introvert that no one wants to hear what you have to say, okay? Your voice matters and you got to use it when it counts. All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about being an introvert and what does that mean when it comes to cultivating a personal brand that is genuine and authentic to who you are. Okay, number four, it's time to network without the noise. Okay, guys, I want to know from you. Feel free to let me know in the chat. What is your biggest challenge? We're going to take a pause here. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to building a personal brand as an introvert? I want to hear from you. Okay. But yeah, you have got to network. I'm going to say strategically. There is a way to network and really show up for your people in person without having to do all the huge events, right? I know what it's like to really want to go to a conference or networking event, and those things leave me drained. I have been there. But what I want you to do is focus on curated, meaningful spaces, places where you can show up fully and not just fit in, right? And just keep this in mind, right? And a lot of people think that networking is a numbers game. I am more into quality over quantity. One genuine connection with the right person could do more for your brand than 50 surface level introductions. Okay. Networking is still critical, right? In terms of getting your personal brand seen. And so I want you to lean more into those one on one conversations, right? Seek out smaller, more intimate gatherings where you can connect with individuals who share your interests and passions. And then, there's always the online networking spaces, which is another reason why I love LinkedIn because it gives you an opportunity to expand your reach without having to leave your computer. Okay, so everyone right now, I challenge you this week to go onto LinkedIn and just send a connection request with a personalized note to 3 people. Can y'all do that? Let me know in the chat. Can y'all do that? Just hit the number 3 in the chat if that's something that you think you can do this week. Okay, guys, thanks for joining. We are talking about being an introvert and how you can show up and cultivate a personal brand without pretending to be someone that you're not. We don't want you out here feeling like you need to put on a mask and be someone else. We want you to show up and be authentically you, okay? And then there's number 5. Let your presence do the talking. Those personal interactions, right? Think about coffee chats, those DM conversations, those side conversations at events. Those small, real moments are where trust is built, right? So don't underestimate how powerful your energy, experience, and authenticity are when you show up with purpose, okay? Those interactions are an excellent way to showcase your personality, skills, and values while building trust and credibility. Okay. Go out to lunch, go out to coffee. Maybe there's some social activities that can help you build a personal connection. Okay. Promoting your personal brand as an introvert doesn't have to be overwhelming, but these 5 things, social media, leaning into blogging and writing, your speaking opportunities, networking, and really maximizing on those personal interactions. That is the most effective way that us introverts can showcase our experience, build our brands, and remain true to our personality and style, right? So remember, personal branding is about being authentic and really showcasing your unique strengths and personality to the world, okay? And of course, I want to hear from you guys if you have any questions about personal branding, confidence, marketplace positioning. The bottom line is you don't need to perform. You don't need to pivot your personality and you don't need to pour from an empty cup to build a brand that gets you paid and positioned for more, right? You just need the right strategy, messaging, and support to make your brilliance visible. And these are the types of things that we'll cover in my upcoming personal branding workshop, right? So if you're ready to own your voice, elevate your visibility, attract your brand soulmate, the right opportunities, and the recognition that you deserve, I want to see you in my Invisible to Invaluable workshop. Okay, this is a live session on Zoom that's happening in a couple of weeks where I'm going to show you really not just what the basics are of personal branding, but how do you begin to connect with your audience in a way that feels genuine? How do you begin to uncover your God given skills, gifts, and abilities and align your brand with your purpose? Listen, you don't have to be the loudest one in the room. Okay. You are not meant to stay in the shadows, but this is your season to be seen and respected for who you are. So make sure you're going over to workwithdion.com, and I would love to hear from you. Feel free to send me a message here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or head on over to workwithdion.com for more on how we can work together. Okay. This has been great. I will see you guys next week. Take care.